What's going on? It's the Rap Nerd, and I am late, but better late than never. I'm here to talk about Black Thought and the L. Michels Affair album called Glorious Game. Now, I didn't know this album dropped into that Banks album released that week, and I was so zoned in on Banks, I was like, I'm gonna do that first, and then I'm gonna come back to this, even though it's late. And I'm back with my thoughts, and this is yet another classic album from Black Thought, who just continuously kills everything he puts out. He's been on a tangent since the first Streams of Thought, and he's always been nice. But this new revolution, this new era of Black Thought, he's been on a tangent since then. I think that was like 2018 or 17, forgot which one. But every album he's released since then has just been fire. Bars everywhere, a lyrical onslaught, god tier rapping at such high levels, not even many hooks on anything. It's just him just giving out the bars, and this is yet another project that I love again. And it's even more dope having L. Michels Affair being the backdrop for this, because just the work they've done with Wu-Tang, you can hear that here, so it almost sounds like a Black Thought Wu-Tang album, a Black Thought Blaxploitation album, again, similar to Rings of Volumes 2. I felt like that was really Blaxploitation, but here it's taken to another level because it being a live band, and even the way it's mixed and mastered, it's not the clearest, it's not the cleanest. It sounds like a live performance, like you're in like some type of speakeasy of funk or something, and I really enjoy just the sonic sound of it. It's one you can just keep playing over and over, let it play. It feels like you're at a show, and again, Black Thought going in per usual. I'm going to kind of go through every song and tell you how I feel about it and what I interpreted from it. So the first record, Grateful, I love how it starts off. It has that sample in the background, like booyaka, booyaka. I love that, and I love the bass line that it's playing, and of course Black Thought just wastes no time whatsoever. 3 for the money, 2 for the hustle, and 1 for the nighttime. Spread it over the city like a comforter, carrying them high notes like a trumpeter. They just come at your noodle where resistance is futile, business is usual, blow at your wig like a French poodle. And this is all the first verse where he's just going in, and I think this is a really great record. It just sets the tone of what we're gonna expect. The album from here goes up and down, but this is a good place to be because again, the instrumentation is all similar, but we bounce back and forth. After Grateful this might be my favorite record on the album, Glorious Game. I love the Blaxploitation sound to it. I even love the hook when it's like, pimpin' ain't dead, baby. Pimpin' ain't dead, baby. Ooh. I love Kirby's vocals on that. And again, Black Thought being able to just find the right pockets. That's one thing he's not really credited for. He finds the perfect pocket per beat and never misses. Here he chooses to stack the vocals on, he's not really attacking the beat. He found the right rhythm to ride, and he's even kind of like, it's almost, how can I say it? His verse is almost melodic in a sense, even though he's, going off and breaking the bars up. Like, okay, I'm too black for y'all to erase, shoot too straight for y'all to replace, too abstract for y'all to retrace. You all would be safe, but y'all a deep fate. It's a bar in that, but it's just like him being able to find the flow, because that wouldn't be something that I would expect most people to ride the beat like. It's almost, breaking one bar into two, and it's just again an onslaught of just lyrical gems throughout this verse too, with a really funkadelic beat that just feels like nighttime, that just feels like a vibe. Like I said, it feels like I'm in like a speakeasy of funk that just works so well, and the hook is just an even better attribute to that record. You know what I mean? He even mentions it right here. Y'all stay on the comical side. I draw psychological vibes. Like, he knows what he's doing with a record like this. So then we get to the next record. I'm still somehow, and I just like how this doesn't even have a kick to it. It's just literally a bass line that's just playing with a nice soul sample in the back to really make it feel misty and eerie. And I just love what he's saying right here. He's saying, like, it's just kind of like the path of a black man in America, how it feels, and how to like survive and be a real man at the same time, because you have one side of you that's telling you to be this real nigga, quote unquote, and the other side that doesn't allow that. And I'm just like how he's operating, and it doesn't allow for you to be happy. You're just always hard. Because one of the bars that really stuck out to me was a few bars. He says, it's the last chance to evolve. Being a black man's been a job. Like, just that bar to me sums up the entire record, and it comes around full circle in the second verse when he says, they say black joy is rebellion. Happy black boys like an alien. Like, just think about that. They say black joy is rebellion. A happy black boys like an alien. Which that is just, when I heard that spoke to me a lot, because you can just break that down for yourself, but black joy being always something to be dangerous, like, it's in this country that it's always like that. If somebody says, buy black or support black businesses, black entertainment, whatever, it's seen as like some type of war cry. And I'm like, no, it's just wanting to be represented and a light to be shined on us, because still in this country, everybody get the less respect. And whether you agree or disagree, I'm not here to talk about that, but it is what it is. And I like that he said that. And happy black boys is an alien. We don't. It's hard to be a happy black boy, honestly. It's difficult at times. And again, I just love what he's saying over this smooth instrumental. And I love the end when he goes, "We too powerful for you to cancel. This is not a groove you could dance to." Talking this shit. Love that record. Then we switched into an aggressive record called The Holloway, which I feel like is just the side of us, black men that they don't want to see. They want us to be, this is what you get. And it's very aggressive. He's spitting all of these bars. And I love how the sample starts. It's kind of like distortion of a voice. But then when it jumps on, he doesn't waste time. When the hawk out, you know what to watch and what to talk about. The Marx is not about pride, and if you was outside, you make it home before it was dark out. Play the couch with pop the smart route, cause it's not for hopscotch with the chalk out. And it's just full of aggressive punches like this, and I love in the second half of the song, the beat switches again, and I feel like it almost gets more aggressive than the first half. And again, he jumps on the record, and when it's bricked out, to slow down with your big mouth, because the niggas be in the cut with guns is big enough to huff and puff and blow down a brick house. So that's the aggressive side I feel like he's presenting with this record, opposed to the last one about showing feelings and going here. Like, it's song's called The Holloway, so you know what it is. Let me get to the next record, Protocol, which I feel like is a lighter and more airy song, which I enjoy. This is the second one of my favorite songs in the record. I love the hook, and I just love the upbeat sample, and it just reminds me of like going outside in like the summertime. It's hot, windows down, just blasting. This is what the record reminds me of. This is Barry says, and yo, I'm from another planet, though currently I'm stranded here when I see people clearly taking every day for granted. I feel like that's the sum up of the whole record. It's like feeling good. The beat makes you feel good. And he even goes on to say, and held to another standard. If I'm completely candid, I fell in love with the language like a hopeless romantic. It's finding that love in life and where you can and what you want to do. And then I love this hook too of what's the guy's name? Sun Little. I love the melody of that record. It just feels good, and I think that's what the song is about. And yeah, I dig that one. That's one that I repeated when I first played the album. And then we get The Weather, which this is a record to me about Black Thought, just talking about his childhood and where he grew, he grew up in. And you can tell from the first bar, sometimes the weather takes me back to the days of crazy summers. That right there sums up the record. And he details even more, going into the house and detailing what certain things look like, the TV being on and somebody always watching one way or another. He's bringing us into his childhood days of Philly and does it in great detail. So I really vibe with that record. And then we consider the next record, That Girl, which I feel like is being in this place of taking us back. I don't know who this girl was to him, whether it's the woman he married now or just young love, but he's just describing this girl that he saw that caught his attention. And it's one of those classic hip hop joints about a girl, like one of those that we don't get anymore. Now all we get is disrespecting women and just all this crazy stuff. But this is one of those joints where it's like, this girl caught me. Reminds me of something like Passing Me By from Far Side, or even Miss Big Booty from Most Def. It's in the vein of one of those records, and I just love the soundtrack for that. Then we get to I Would Never, which is a super groovy track. Another one that's similar to Still Somehow, where it's kind of slow as far as its rhythm, but it has a nice soul sample in the back with Black Thought again giving it up with just mad bars. I mean, by now you know this tape is full of bars. And then we get to the next record, Alone, which I feel like is dope, with him kind of detailing his thought process and bridging the gap between himself and everyone else listening to let us know that we're not alone in whatever it is we're thinking. Specifically, like the first few bars, with one school-aged child, another not as old, you've been grinding overtime, getting to the pot of gold. Gotta make a solid home with a hot or cold. You never let somebody use it in proper tone. You move wrong, you don't want it, for it's not controlled. Even if you might not have known, you're not alone. Speaking about the grind right there, like I said, we all in that same grind, and so a lot of times we think we're alone because shit is hard, but we're not alone. Everyone's going through the same thing. Especially, that's so pungent of a statement to make, being in 2023 with just economy on the rise and people trying to stay above water. This record is perfect for that, and I just love how he details that in every single verse. And of course, smooth hook with the sample going on. It's just a good vibe of a record. Then we get into Miracle, where I feel like he's detailing his first little bit of puppy love as a kid. I think it's kind of a kickback to Weather, and when he was innocent, when the world was more innocent than it is, opposed to how things can be taken different ways now. I think that's what that record is about. It's a miracle that we made it here through that time, and that it's no longer like that. And then it goes into Glorious Game again. It's kind of like a little instant of a hook, I guess, just for like kind of an interlude sake. The beat kind of cuts on and it doesn't have any kick to it. It's just the vocals that's like, these are the glory days. Like, it's just kind of going through. And then from that point, we get to the last record, which is Alter Ego. And I think this record is dope. It's one of those ones with not repetition. It's one of those ones with the rhythm is kind of slowed down, but I think it's like that on purpose, so you can really hear every single word that Black Thought is saying. And it's the message to that record is just how much he succeeded once he let his alter ego go. You know, and he literally says, I'm 35, you know, why am I still doing young dumb shit, you know? And how drastic his life changed and went up the ladder of success once he left the alter ego, big rough and tough man shit behind. And I like just how the hook really sounds dreamy, and these vocals that capture the same feel, you know. Love that record too. This album in general, straight fire. It's one of those joints that you can play, and then once it goes off, you can repeat it again because it just flows so well. It feels like one live show. And Black Thought just says so much shit. Like, you don't even need a lot of records. Like, I'm so happy that he does this. This right now is album of the year for me. We'll see if it gets knocked off. I don't know if it will, because Black Thought continues to drop hits, and I'm happy with it. So if you listen to the album, what's your favorite record? I think mine are Glorious Game and Protocol. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.